State Library Victoria acknowledges the traditional lands of all the Victorian Aboriginal clans and their cultural practices and knowledge systems. We recognise that our collections hold traditional cultural knowledge belonging to Indigenous communities in Victoria and around the country. We support communities to protect the integrity of this information gathered from their ancestors in the colonial period. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, who have handed down these systems of practice to each new generation for millennia.
Welcome to State Library Victoria. Today we have a very special guest, Andy Griffiths, who is here to launch his new book. It's part of a new series called Adventures Unlimited. I loved Andy's Treehouse books and I'm really excited to read this new one. An exclusive copy of the book is going to be arriving at the library any minute now so that Andy can launch it. Okay, let's check in with Andy to see if he's ready to start.
Lava-proof oven mitts, check. Lucky guinea pig Pookie, check. And most important of all, my adventure helmet with dust-busting mohawk, check. And, I'm Andy, and this is the State Library of Victoria, and we're here today to launch my new book, The Land of the Lost Things. And, I'm getting word that the book is arriving at the library this very moment. We're going to check it out on Bookcam to see it enter the building. Have a look.
Are you excited for kids to read you?
A red carpet? Where was that when I arrived? I wrote the thing. Anyway, it's on its way to the back of the library now where it will be accessioned. That's how it becomes part of the library's collection. Now the library collects lots of things. It houses books, paintings, historical objects. That's the W.G. Alma Conjuring Collection. It's a room full of books and objects all about magic. Don't fool around in there. Get up here to the children's quarter so I can launch you. Yeah, that's Ned Kelly's armour. We don't have time for that. No, you can't do that. I guess we can return it later. At last, you made it. You've had quite an adventure, haven't you? Hey everyone, it's here. It finally made it through the labyrinth of the library, and I'm glad you're here too, because we are all going to have an adventure this morning in the Land of Lost Things. Now, this is a brand new book that I've been working on in conjunction with a new illustrator, Bill Hope, and we are going to have a wild time in the Lost Things today. I'm going to take you on an adventure. We're going to see how good you and how brave you are as an adventurer, and also how smart, because in this book you are one of the main characters along with me. Now, I'll just to show you how all this works. But let's start at the start. The series is called Adventures Unlimited. And that's how I've always felt with the books that I've read, that every time I pick up a book, I'm going on an adventure which could go anywhere, to any time, to any place. And really there are an unlimited amount of books in the world. So let's have a look. When I was very little, look at me. What a good boy I was, sitting on a chair, reading a book. But it looks like I'm like a really good kid. But in my head, I was going on wild adventures. There was monsters, there was rockets. Let me show you some of the books that I loved to read. One was called You Will Go to the Moon. A very old book, before people had even gone to the moon, but it had imagined the whole journey for me, and I just loved this book. I was there in the rocket. When we landed on the moon, we could go bouncing all over the place. And so I read this book over and over again and really wanted to go to the moon. Then I found a book called A Journey to the Center of the Earth. And I was like, enough of the moon, let's get to the center of the earth where there's dinosaurs and inland lakes. And at one point we were marooned, and we were caught in a big storm and surrounded by lava on the raft that we were riding on. So that was a particularly exciting one. Later on, I discovered Enid Blyton, an author I loved very much, and her book Adventures of the Wishing Chair, about two kids who would sit in a chair, and every now and again the chair would grow little wings out of its legs, and it would fly them out the window and off to somewhere where they could never predict, but it was often a dangerous place. And here this scene shows them flying, or I think they were caught by a giant, and they're flying out of his window and he's reaching out to grab them. So I always loved the unpredictability of books and the excitement and often the danger. I also like non-fiction books, and one of my favourite little stories was Deep Sea Diver. Now look at you'd think that would be exciting, and it is. It's also very dangerous. This is a diver who has got his leg caught in a giant clam, and he's trying to use a crowbar to get his leg free. That's a tough day at the office, I think. But even more tough is when he's attacked by a giant spider crab. Now, this said it was non-fiction. I don't know if crabs really grow that big, but my imagination just loved being in these underwater hellscapes. Also, a particularly dangerous place was the New York subway. Down in the sewers, you could get chased by giant monsters. So I loved comics and cartoons as much as books. And you see that in the books that I create with both Bill Hope and Terry from the Treehouse books. They're a mixture of comic and story. Now, I've got an important question coming through from one of you. Let's see who it is.
Hi Andy, my name is Charlie and I'm from Malmesbury Primary School. I would like to know, what is the first ever book you remember writing about?
Thanks, Charlie. The first story I wrote that was published was called Lost in Time. It was a time travel adventure. I'd gone to the AFL footy at the MCG here in Melbourne, and somewhere in between going to get a drink at the kiosk, I was transported into the future and had a wild a ride into the future, meeting all sorts of different bald-headed people and trying to get back with the aid of their time machine. So I loved imagining myself on those adventures, and you'll notice I often write about myself as if I'm really, really having those adventures, because that helps me imagine the scene that much more vividly and helps me convince you, the readers, that it's really, really happening. Now, that's the type of adventure I liked, but what sort of adventure would you like to have? Now, this is a reader poll, and I want you to tell me, would you, we'll just see what's the most popular, who would like to go on a high seas pirate adventure? So if you like that, press the thumbs up. Who would like to go on a treasure hunting adventure? Let's have a look what your decisions might be. Well, there's a few treasure hunters and a few pirate adventures. What about a flying sock-powered bath adventure? Oh yes, lots of people. Of course we want to go on a flying sock-powered bath. And a camping adventure. Who would like to do that? Now, There's a lot of emojis on the screen. I can see everyone wants to do, you're all equally divided between all four, which is lucky because in the land of lost things, which is where we're going in the new book, you can have all of those adventures. We will fly in a sock-powered adventure bath. We'll see a pirate rabbit, in fact, and we will have a camping adventure, and I forget what treasure hunt. We're actually looking for my lost lucky rabbit's foot. That's why we've gone to the land of lost things. Well, we went to the land of lost things because you pushed the fly button and you made us fly too fast. So that was your fault, but it was a good accident because then we were able to look for my lost lucky rabbit's foot.
Hi Andy, my name's Ali. I'm from Victoria Primary School, and I was wondering, how did you come up with the idea for the new series of books?
Thank you, Zali. That's a perfectly timed question. The idea came from you, the readers, and I'm lucky to receive many letters and lots of feedback from you all. And one of the most common questions I've been asked over the last 20 years that I've been writing books is, can you put me in the book? So many readers have requested that I put them or their friends or their dog or their parents into the books. And so I was thinking about this and I thought, well, I always talk to you when I'm writing the story. And in the Treehouse, we often asked you questions. And some of you were a bit shouty. You'd shout the answers back at us. But you have always been an important part of the story process. But then I thought, how could I get you right into the story? And I talked to my friend Bill, and we came up with this is you wearing an adventure suit with the old box adventure helmet to protect your head and your identity. And so I decided you and me were adventurers. You've got your one of everything backpack, you've got your swinging rope, your comfy adventure boots, your fix anything tool, and your rabbit's foot detecting antennas, which are a pair of flip-flops, but no one else needs to know that. And here's me with my dust-busting mohawk, my enhanced acoustic toilet roll ears, and the dustbin lid of justice, and also really comfy adventure boots. And I figured we have like a clubhouse, the Adventures Unlimited clubhouse with lots of trophies from all our previous adventures. And that's what we do. We talk about the adventures we've had, the adventures we're going to have. And here's Bill Hope. He is our illustrator who has faithfully come on the adventure with us, illustrating everything so beautifully. And I'd like him to introduce himself now. So let's go to the Blue Mountains in Sydney, or up in New South Wales, where Bill lives, and let's see where he works and how he does it.
Hi there, my name is Bill Hope and I'm an illustrator living here in the Blue Mountains of Australia. When I sit down to draw, I might be using a texter, a paintbrush, a carrot, whatever comes to hand, but most of the time I'm drawing on the computer. I take drawing very seriously, but only because I want to draw seriously silly things most of the time. So when I heard Andy Griffiths was looking for a new illustrator, I felt like I've been training for this my whole life. I loved reading Andy's books when I was a young kid, so it's an absolute dream to be able to work with him now as an old kid. My favourite thing about working on the Adventures Unlimited books is having a wonderful world where I can put all the ideas that I've dreamt up. Beforehand, I used to just have to show them to my dog, but now I can send them to award-winning, million-book-selling national treasure Andy Griffiths. I really hope you enjoyed looking at my pictures as much as I love drawing them. Okay, thanks guys.
So that's Bill, and if I click this button, more
Andy.
questions.
My name's Jem, and I'm from Rasenville Primary School. I've got a question for you. What's your favourite character in your new series, Adventures Unlimited?
Well, apart from you, Jem, my favourite character could be any one of these characters. There's the rabbit pirate I was talking about that we meet along the way. There is a bull who's lost his temper. There's a talking book called Plotty, who helps us find the plot when we lose the plot. There's a flying watch called Watch. No, it's called Flying Watch. Sometimes characters don't have very interesting names. They just are what they are. And there's a cat who runs a Lost Foot Emporium, who turns out to be a bit of a rascal, but not as big as a rascal as this guy, Johnny Knucklehead. He is our frenemy. So at times he's our friend and we can join up with him and search for lost treasure and have other types of adventures, but at other times he's very quick to double cross us. So on the adventure, watch out for Johnny Knucklehead. But although he is useful at times, as you'll find out. So I think with that advice to watch out for Johnny Knucklehead, to put on your adventure helmets and bring your best adventuring skills, who is ready to go on an adventure to the land of lost things right now? Let's see. If you would like to come, thumbs up. If you think, nah, I'd rather stay in school and do my maths and my spelling and, quite a few of you would rather do that. Well, too bad, because you are coming on the adventure right now. But it's mostly yeses. Good to see. Let's go. Look at all those thumbs up. We're in the adventure car and here we are, question 1. There's going to be a series of questions and I'm going to test you out and see how adventurous you are, how smart you are and how brave you are. So first question. We're driving along the road in our adventure car and we see this sign. It says, "Warning, dangerous cliff ahead." Now, here's your first choice, would you stop the car if you saw that sign, or would you just keep driving? How many people would keep driving even though the sign said, "Warning, dangerous cliff ahead"? And I can see there are quite a few serious adventurers here. Most of you would just keep on driving right over the cliff. Let's have a look. If you stop the car, your adventure ends here. So that was a bad choice for an adventurer, even though it was a sensible one. If you would like to keep driving, oh dear, look what happens. You go over the cliff. Well, you can't say you weren't warned. Question 2. If you are going over the edge of a cliff in a car, which button should you push? Should you push thumbs up, the eject button, so you eject safely out of the car? Should you press the heart, the self-destruct button, so that you destroy the car and destroy yourself so that there's no chance that you're going to be hurt at the bottom of the cliff? Or would you press the fly button to make the car fly? Now let's see, there's a lot of disagreement here. People are pushing all the buttons. That wasn't an option, but I know you panicked and it's a bit of a stressful situation. That's extraordinary. I think you're a third divided between each button. Well, let's explore what happens. If you push eject, your adventure ends here. So you eject safely, but adventure is over. If you push self-destruct, your adventure ends right here. So no adventure for you. And if you pushed fly, that's the correct one for an adventurer to push, because up and away you fly in the adventure car, which has got flight capacities, obviously. And look at those poor sharks down there. They're denied their lunch and they're going to have to put up with fish fingers yet again. All right, adventurers. Question 3. The trouble is that you're now going too fast and you smash a hole in the space-time continuum and enter a whole new dimension. And you end up lost in the land of lost things. And even worse, Johnny Knucklehead is there too. Remember I warned you about Johnny Knucklehead? Be careful. But even worse than him, even more worse, a bull is getting ready to charge you. Here's your next question. Do you run away or do you fight the bull? How many of you would run away? One person would run away so far. One person would scream, and most of you would decide to fight the bull. Oh no, there's a few people running away. Let's see what happens. If you run away, your adventure ends here. But B, you get ready to fight the bull. But then Johnny steps in. Remember I said he was your frenemy? He's going to fight the bull and he has the perfect way to do it. Let's see. All right, it's a knockout. So he saves you from the bull, and they're knocked out, but not for long. They get back up and they start circling around each other. They are both beaten up, but the bull is looking stronger. Johnny needs help. Do you run away again, or do you help Johnny? How many would choose the runaway option at this point? A few of you, maybe about 20, 30%, or maybe 40%. How many are going to help Johnny by getting in and fighting the bull? Quite a lot of you. That's very nice of you. Let's see. I think you know what was going to happen if you run away. Your adventure ends here. But if you decide to get in and fight the bull, you have a big fight on your hands. And there's adventure, pow, clonk, blammo, yeah, kerplow, and let's see, do you survive? Well, no, actually, that's a question for you. Do you keep fighting until you are all dead? Or do you stop fighting and make friends with the bull? How many would keep fighting until there was no one left alive? A few of you up for a big, big fight. How many of you would stop fighting and make friends with the bull? Well, again, it's evenly divided, an interesting mix here. If you fight to the death, well, your adventure ends here, but you've had a good one. If you stop fighting, make friends with the bull, and all have the best adventure ever, then you are going to have the best adventure ever. So, how many of you survived the adventure there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30,000 of you. Well done, well done. And just a couple ran away. So, you've passed the test. Unlike that poor tortoise. So now it's your turn. Bill and I have had a lot of fun creating this book, and we've given you an adventure sheet of your own. Now, if you have a look at it, you begin by filling in the sentence where you say, hey, remember when, and then ... So you complete that sentence, and then you draw a picture of you and whoever you're in the magical land with in that moment. So how did you get there? Who did you go with? What did you find there? So you draw a picture. You might want to start drawing the picture and then fill the sentence in later, and then write your name. And this will be really cool if you send it in to the State Library Victoria. 10 lucky schools will win a copy of the new book. So let's have a look at some of the students who've already filled the adventures in have knocked me out with their incredible adventurousness. Lily has had an adventure who said, remember when we went to the land of friendly dragons and got to ride a dragon. So there's Lily riding her dragon right in the middle of the action. So this is a beautiful action shot, lovely dragon drawing there, Lily. And let's have a look what our next adventurer has decided to do. Denver has decided, remember when we fought a robot unicorn that shoots lasers out of her horn at Wingtopia? That's amazing. I love the country of Wingtopia. Or is that a character? I'm not quite sure. Oh, there's the unicorn is saying, you stole my robot egg. Denver, that was a bad move. It looks like you've got a problem on your hand. You need Johnny Knucklehead to come to your rescue. And we have Ruby. Hey, remember when we went to Ice Cream Land and found that humongous, cute ice cream dog? Now, Ruby, an ice cream dog, that is the greatest idea I've ever had, because dogs are a lot of fun to play with, but an ice cream dog, you can eat them at the same time. So although once you've eaten your ice cream dog, I guess you can't play with it anymore. But beautiful picture, Ruby. And these pictures are the perfect way to start off a whole story, should you choose to do so. So you can now call your story The Day We Met the Ice Cream Dog, and you've already created the world, you've created a character, and this is how Bill and I like to work, is just starting with a picture and then asking questions. Where did this happen? Who is it? What would be the cool thing about this situation? What would be the not cool thing? Like once the dog melts, that would be quite sad, perhaps. Jace has said, remember when we played basketball with roller skates while we were blindfolded? And yeah, I do remember that, Jace, and I remember it wasn't much fun at all. We got badly injured the whole time, although you were having a great time. So playing basketball with roller skates while blindfolded, you can do the most impossible things in a story, or in this case, in a picture. And that's why I love story writing, story reading. The possibilities are unlimited. Indiana has said, remember when we went to Pluto and we saw aliens with tomato heads? So the tomato-headed aliens of Pluto. Who knew until Indiana came back from there and reminded us that we've all been there. Once again, a beautiful picture. Indiana, love that blue sky. Remember when we went to the moon and found an alien with a pear as the head, and he had a friend that was a wonky donkey. And that is a couple of very memorable characters. Skeletons are always cool, and especially skeletons with pear heads. So thank you very much, Amy, for reminding us of that adventure. Where else can we go? Remember when we went to the long-lost land of AFL legends with our robot friend. That's Harvey indulging his love of AFL and some of his favourite footballers there, long lost AFL legends. Beautiful. And remember, this is not so beautiful, remember when the mutated animals almost took over Blossom Wood? Marlo has drawn a beautiful picture. Well, it's, for a mutated animal, it's a pretty nice looking cat, lion, leopard, purple people eater. and then that beautiful little white bunny, and the monkey with 8 arms. All fantastic characters and a great. We want to know, how did the animals become mutated? What did they do when they took over the wood? So asking questions is a big key to getting stories going. The story is really the answer to all of those questions. Martha, remember when we found a magic frying pan in your mum's kitchen that made everybody dance? And I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, Martha. Is this a bossy frying pan? Does he let you stop dancing? Or does he make you dance for all day, all night, for the entertainment of the other pots and pans and kitchen utensils? But I love adventures that start in the real world, like in your kitchen or in your bedroom. Extraordinary things can happen. When you look under your bed, you could find an entire world, an inland sea, for instance. Many of my stories have started in everyday world and gradually become more fantastic. Some more mutated fruit. Remember when we dropped our fruit? Yes, a lot of us there. We had your fruit bowl into the power plant, but I guess accidents happen, don't they? And that's how stories start. And this is a very difficult one for me to say. Remember when we went to Xantari, Can, Tossel, Ari, Unzi and fought the monster Collie Car, Collie, and ate Calicine candy? Mira, that is a fantastic tongue twister. Let's see if you can all pronounce the name here. Repeat after me. Zan, Ta, E, Can, Tosel, Ari, Anzi. Did you get that? All right, let's try it all together now. Zan, Tari, Can, Tossel, Ari, Anzi. After you, now you do it without me. Yep. Exactly, I could hear it all the way here in the State Library. Well done. So let's all go to Zan, Tari, Can, Tossel, Ari, Anzi and fight the monster Collie Car, Collie, and eat Calicine candy right after this presentation. Nice one, Mira, and a nice picture too. And remember, last one, remember when we went to Emotion Book World to save the emotion books from this horrible thing called Scissor Man. Scissor Man, he looks particularly angry. Oh, I love his little eyes and little mouth at the corner of the handles there. That's so beautiful. And the books, the emotion books. Yeah, I want to write a story about Scissor Man next. So thank you for the idea, Krisha. And I hope this has given you all lots of ideas for where you would like to go on your adventure. And in fact, now we've got just a little bit of time. I want you to have a talk to your friend. Maybe you've got the sheets in front of you. See if you can think where you would like to go. Is it space? Is it deep sea? Is it to a fantastical kingdom? Who's got an idea? I can see you all thinking there. I can see some of you drawing. That's excellent. Some of you are writing. Does it have a wild name like I've forgotten it already. Zankati, Kazi, Arianzi, or is it a simple name, a simple place like my bedroom, my school classroom? Remember the time my teacher turned into a monster and chased us all around the classroom? Maybe that's happening right now. I don't know. So have a play with that, and just, even if you don't know what to do, just start drawing something. And that's a big clue to where ideas come from. Often I'm not quite sure what I'm going to write about or draw about, or ask Bill to draw for me. But I'll just start writing, and it's a magical thing when you start actually writing, ideas start flowing through your pen. Even if they're the wrong ones, you can reverse back and find something that you do like. And one of the ways that I find ideas is if I'm excited and they're amusing, and perhaps I show them to my friend and they go, oh yeah, that's a cool idea. So the enjoyment that you have with an idea is a big hint as to whether that's a good thing to write about. If you're bored and you're finding it totally dumb and I don't really like this, that's a sign to change what you're writing about and hook it up with something that you're interested in, whether it's football, whether it's fighting monsters in places with strange names, scissor men, eating ice cream dogs, anything that makes you laugh or makes you excited is where the energy for your stories are. So I believe we have another question, and that's going to come in right now while some of you are drawing and writing. Let's see.
Hi Andy, my name is Dalen from St. Mark's College, and I'm wondering, why are we wearing boxes on our head on the front cover page?
Thank you very much, Dale. That's an excellent question. And it basically comes from the fact that I wanted you and me to be the main characters, meant I had a problem. And the problem was that you all look quite different. You're different heights, you're different genders, you're different nationalities. And so to have a you character that would represent everyone, Bill and I figured we would put them in adventure suits and we would cover their heads with the adventure helmets, which would be both good for and handy for being on the adventure, but also conceal the identity of you so that you can imagine yourself into the picture of you in the book. It's all very complicated, but quite easy to make your own adventure helmet. Number one, you find a box. Any box will do as long as it's big enough for your head to fit in. Then you cut an eye slot in the front of it to fit your eyes. Then you get some, well, if you're making, there's two different types of helmet. One with smelly old flip-flops, or you can have a dust-busting mohawk. I prefer the dust-busting mohawk because it's so cool. Then you tape them to the back or you tape it to the top. And of course, you can use any common kitchen utensil or any old thing that you find around the house for this. We wanted to keep it nice and free so you can customize your adventure helmet. There's the toilet roll acoustically enhanced hearing apparatus. And you can draw a mouth on if you like, so people know where you're talking from. But yeah, there's no limit. You could put a bar of soap on there. You could put a, what else could we put on there? What do you reckon? What should we put on our adventure helmets that we haven't already got? Maybe some grass. Yeah, some grass and mud so that you could camouflage yourself in to certain situations. Maybe some candy. You could put candy all over your adventure helmet so you've got extra supplies when you happen to get lost somewhere. So lots of you, I'd like to see all of you design your own adventure helmet. Get ready for the adventure when we launch the book on next Tuesday, on the 13th of August. And we'll be able to all go for that adventure together. Now, where were we in the presentation? We were almost finished, weren't we? Yes. Yeah, so now we're all ready for adventure. And of course, I almost forgot the lava-proof oven mitts. Very important if you're dealing with lava. And I'm going to put mine on now because I'm getting ready for an adventure. They're going back the front. Not sure how this works. So we put this on and then we put our adventure helmets on. Before I do, good luck with your adventures. Have fun drawing that picture of you in an exciting moment in one of your adventures. Don't forget to send them in to the State Library of Victoria. And I want to say thank you to all of you for coming to the launch today, helping me to launch this troublesome book, The Land of Lost Things. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the adventure. So I'll put that down. I've got my lava-proof oven mitts on. I put my helmet on. There we go. Got my lucky guinea pig, Pookie. And see you all in the land of lost things. Bye. Say goodbye, Pookie. Bye.